Spider-Man. You know Spider-Man. Everybody knows Spider-Man. The movies, the games, the comics, the Las Vegas Strip. Everywhere you go, you'll see his face. So in 2017, Disney, the owners of Marvel, semi-owners of Spider-Man, and lovers of copious amounts of money, were thinking of ways to implement a Spider-Man ride into the Avengers campus that just got announced to replace A Bug's Land in Disney's California Adventure. Which, I mean, isn't that big for Spider-Man, and the reputation of this ride will not infringe upon the reputation of Spider-Man in any way. But I think this ride is not only bad by Spider-Man standards, it's also bad by Disney ride standards, and honestly, overall theme park standards. And I'm tired of just letting it sit there. Spider-Man Web Slingers is a ride that gets away on the novelty of being a Spider-Man themed ride. You know how I know that? Because Legoland did this with Ninjago years prior, and literally no one cared. I mean, I cared. This ride is actually pretty advanced for a Legoland attraction, at least compared to the average Legoland attraction. The point is, Disney is announcing a ride that will certainly be outdated by the time it releases. So, was it?
Yes.
Before I start completely dumping on this ride, let me disclose something that I don't think was ever supposed to be known about Avengers Campus. The entire land was built with the idea in mind that if this didn't go well, they could very quickly and easily replace the entire land with a completely new theme without spending as much money. So everything in Avengers Campus retroactively has to be produced with way less attention to detail and also just way worse quality of experience in general. This is all alleged. But the evidence is literally right in front of us. California Adventure is not by any means a perfect park, but Web Slingers is even bad by Six Flags standards. I'm not kidding when I say the Justice League ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain is a better ride than Web Slingers, and that's not a good ride by any means either. The ride has very minimal decoration, just basically like the bare minimum to make it look like a research facility. The first showroom is where Peter Parker explains how you're going to be getting inside of these big web-slinging microwaves and swinging around the city or something vague like that. The vehicle's actual practical application will never be explained. Avengers Campus takes place in a limbo-adjacent version of the MCU where no one dies and everyone's happy all the time, including the villain. So Tom Holland in this version basically plays just a more high-energy version of himself in Homecoming and Civil War. I have no problems with Spider-Man in this ride, but the narrative and look makes me never want to ride it again. In the story of this ride, Peter invented a new product, Spider-Bot, and this little Spider-Bot has the ability to copy itself. So obviously it turns evil and wreaks havoc on all of the Avengers campus. So it's up to you and Spider-Man to stop him. Not horrible, I guess. Maybe it won't be so bad. And then you get in the ride vehicle, and everything comes crashing down.
Yep, here's your problem. Someone set this thing to evil. I love you, Homer.
Come here, you.
It's a midway type ride where you shoot at the screen, but the whole ride requires you to use motion controls, so you have to shoot at the screen with your arms and web shoot. And you're gonna have to use those motion controls anytime you want to get on the ride, unless you first purchase the $40 Power Web Band. And that just gives you access to all the new things you can do on this amazing ride.
I thought it was pretty effective. I really kind of racked up the points here. Yeah, look at that. You can see 4 shots.
But that only gives you access to all the amazing things you can do. By paying an extra $30, you can own either a web shooter or an Iron Man repulsor to go along with your web power band. I'm sure the power band works without the attachment, but I think it's stupid that it's in 2 pieces to begin with. So for an improved experience on one ride in the whole park, you can pay upwards of $65. Like, you already have a web shooter that now can arbitrarily attach to any person's arm regardless of age. So why wouldn't you put it on the Spider-Man ride that's about web shooting? So once you're in the ride vehicle, it's just slowly shuffling to the left, and then a little gate opens, and then you shoot a bunch of spiders, and then you move to the left again, and a screen with a gate opens, and then you shoot the spiders again. And between that, it's just logos, fake boxes, and fake webs. Honestly, this could have been a tiny showcase that has no reason to take up the space of an actual ride. I don't even know why it moves. Star Tours makes you feel like you're moving way more than this ride, and you're not. The design of this ride feels like they just came up with the ride format first and then arbitrarily put a random IP on it without thinking about how boring the logistics of a Spider-Man Midway ride are. But you know what? I won't even say that. I think there's a great way to make a Spider-Man Midway ride and that's by giving us cameras so we can take pictures of Spider-Man. But that's not even the biggest problem. We don't need a Midway, because California Adventure already has one. And it's not like it's like one of the most popular rides in the park or anything. This thing barely gets past an hour, so I don't get why we needed another one. Toy Story Midway Mania has existed for years in the same park, and no one has major criticisms about this one. I've never ridden it, so I'm not going to review it or anything, but it seems fine. Spider-Man Web Slingers is a disappointment because it's slow and sterile, something a Spider-Man ride should never be. This ride gives me very little hope for Avengers Campus, because even with the new Avengers ride plus Carnival Arm Robot ride, I can only guess from what I've seen from what they've already made, and what they've already made is incredibly disappointing and cookie cutter. If Disney refuses to take creative risk with this property, no one's gonna go to Avengers Campus. It's already one of the most disliked theme park lands in recent years. I would have loved a ride similar to the one in Universal, but I also haven't been on that one, so I can't completely compare it to this one. And they probably also had a lot less constraints when it came to riding a Spider-Man ride. But Web Slingers doesn't even have a real villain. Like, we're mostly just cleaning up Peter's mess for most of it, which, I mean, is kind of what the movies are like, so that makes sense. But there are so many Spider-Man villains. You're telling me they couldn't throw away one on a theme park ride? Are we serious? Spider-Man means too much to too many people for it to have such a mediocre ride, especially since it's the only one on this coast. This is the only Spider-Man ride. Like, Disney rides are supposed to push the bounds of creativity, and I feel like most of Disney's recent endeavors don't hold true to that at all. If you like this video, the next one will probably be here much sooner, so subscribe and follow my TikTok if you want to see shorter versions of the videos I post here, among other things, kinda. And if you didn't like this video, because you really like web slingers for some reason, let me tell you about this crazy new piece of technology. It's called the Xbox Kinect.